Hey, what's up, y'all? Wes Clark here for Real Talk on Dollhouse Radio, giving you my top 10 best movies of 2018. 2018 is a pretty good year for movies. Started off with a bang as far as movies go, blockbuster films, especially comic book films. As you know, Black Panther, things of that nature, an Infinity War just really flooded the box office. Everyone really showed up and showed a lot of support. But I just want to give my opinion, this is purely my opinion, people, of what I think was the best films that I saw this year. Middle of the year, things got a little dead. The summertime was decent. It picked up again and brought it home properly at the end of the year. So, no further ado, we'll start with number 10, The Hate You Give. Directed by George Tillman Jr., written by Audrey Wells. And the film also starred the young newcomer. She's kind of here now. It's not really much of a newcomer, but Amanda Stenberg. So, I enjoyed watching the film. I thought the film was very deep. I thought the acting was good, especially from the young lady who was the star, Amanda. And I believe the film hopefully will get a decent awards run.
It doesn't seem that complicated to me.
A lot of people kind of passed over it. I'm not sure what the numbers it did in the box office, but for whatever reason, that film kind of got lost in the shuffle there. But a lot of people did check it out. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting really stood out in the film by most of the actors in the film. So that's my number 10. Number 9, Mission Impossible Fallout. The latest edition in the Mission Impossible film series. And Tom Cruise, he just keeps going, man. He just doesn't stop. The man is like, I don't know. He really is kind of like a superhero, which is ironic. He doesn't play a superhero in any superhero films, but he is kind of like one, right? So I'm going to go with that. For the film was exciting. It had Henry Cavill in it, who, kind of played a double spy. I won't ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it. I'm not here to do spoilers. I'm just here to give you my opinion on these films and why I like them.
That's the job.
So Mission Impossible Fallout is my number 9. Number 8. I'm going to go with this. A lot of people forgot this even came out in 2018. A Quiet Place. Quiet Place, I thought was a pretty original concept. John Krasinski directed it, and starred in it, along with his wife, Emily Blunt. And I think the cast, as an ensemble, did a really good job. I hope they get recognized, like in the SAG Awards or in one of these film award shows. Being able to act without talking much. Plus, all of them learned sign language, real actual sign language in the film, because the actress who played the young daughter was actually deaf in real life. So, they had to, and that was by design. With John Krasinski, wanted to make sure he cast a deaf girl. So, them having to use sign language, I thought that was really good as a cast. So hopefully they get some sort of recognition. But that was my number 8. Number 7, Creed 2, directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and of course starring Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson, the same cast that came back from the first Creed film. Now obviously this is the latest installment in the Rocky series. And it really played out like a Rocky film, so that's why it was a little bit predictable. But that's how Rocky films are, so I'm kind of okay with that. But other than it being predictable, but it played out like a Rocky film, so I was cool with that. One thing I did notice, that the training that they had for Creed in this film was very much similar to the training that Rocky had to go through. Not exact, and by no means, and I believe Rocky's training was harder because he was training in Russia and he had to train to beat this unstoppable Russian that was, not only was he a unstoppable force he was cheating. He had a cheat code. He was, they were shooting him up with steroids and all of that. So he had to overcome a lot. But I did see him strengthening his neck in the training sequence, which they had Adonis doing as well. Also, they was, what was new was they had Adonis in the close quarters, training, punching, and midsection stuff. That training sequence was pretty cool. I thought it was good. It's not as intense as Rocky trainings because I don't know. Nothing could beat the way Rocky trained, especially in Rocky 4. So Creed 2 is my number 7. Number 6. This one would start getting tough. Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, Rami Malek was really good as the late, great Freddie Mercury from the legendary rock band Queen. This biopic was obviously about the rock band Queen. It had a lot of band members' hands-on in the film. So, although it did take some criticism quite a bit, and we covered it on our show, we were a little upset with the criticism. I know I'll speak for myself. I was very upset with the criticism that it got because I thought it was, in my opinion, irrelevant. And this was directed by Bryan Singer. A lot of people don't realize that. I give them kudos for recreating almost a shot-for-shot recreation of the Live Aid performance, which is considered one of the best performances by a band. So they completely crushed Live Aid as a band. So kudos to them for recreating that. I thought they did shot for shot. It was really good. This is where it gets tough. The top 5, my top 5 best films of 2018. And these are just my favorites and what I enjoyed the most. So number 5 will be Aquaman. Yes, Aquaman. Finally, a DC film makes my top 5, at least for this year. This would be the first DC film to probably make my top 5 since Wonder Woman came out. So Aquaman was a fun ride. It was filled with great effects. I know you've heard these reviews from different people. Pretty much everyone gave praise to the effects. But what I want to give praise to James Wan, to the director, is the fact that he was able to take some of the elements of Aquaman that we historically made fun of.
Guys hungry?
Arthur is talking to the fish.
The talking to the fish, everyone, laughed about stuff like that. Aquaman doesn't have a power, he talks to the fish. They even did that in Justice League. I hear you talk to fish.
The Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
And James Wan was able to take that and make it pretty badass and pretty awesome in the film.
Hey, buddy, you that fish boy from the TV?
It's Fish Man.
If you haven't seen the film yet, go out and see it. It's a great film. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It's flawed. Don't get me wrong. It is flawed. However, I believe that James Wan really took the strengths of Jason Momoa and really put it to use as Aquaman. So he made the character really, really likable.
I could have just peed on it.
There was a couple of scenes in there that I won't expose that I felt like, ugh, that was a little, ugh. But overall, it was a fun film. Fight scenes were decent. Action was good. Effects was great. Acting was pretty good. Not bad at all. A couple people I was like, But overall, it was a beautiful film. Everyone looked beautiful. Looked great. And the effects and the monsters in it, the sea creatures. In this film, it shows just how powerful he is in the water. It really showed his power, and I was happy to see that. So that's all I'm going to say without giving anything else away. And the suit looks really badass. So, number 4 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Really great film. Enjoyed it. Animated film, and it's funny, it's in the top 5 over all of these great films. But this was not your ordinary just animated film. I mean, it felt like a real film. The storyline and the acting in it was really, really good. And I don't know, hopefully Marvel, you didn't shoot yourselves in the foot, because there's gonna be some people calling for seeing Miles Morales in the real world, in the MCU. You know, we're just getting used to Tom Holland playing Peter Parker, but there's gonna be a call for some Miles Morales, because it was seeing him in this film in the animated universe really kind of got everyone going. And Sony, this was a Sony distributed and produced film in association with Marvel, so we may end up having 2 Spider-Man, two different actors playing Spider-Man, or 2 different Spider-Man universes going on. I hope not. I hope Sony gets, it gets with the program, because see, what happened is they had so much, the success of Venom kind of got Sony feeling themselves a little bit. So they're thinking, oh yeah, we can do what we want to do. And now the success from this is really going to have their heads big. They're not going to be able to fit in their houses and their offices. So Into the Spider-Verse was a great film. Go out and see it if you did not yet. It was awesome. Everything about it was awesome. The acting, the storyline, the graphics. I thought it was great. Number 3, A Star is Born. Written or co-written, directed, and starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Also starring Lady Gaga as the lead. Now, A Star is Born, I thought was excellent. I mean, from beginning to end, in my opinion. Some people thought it was slowed a little bit slow. I did not think that. I thought it had a good pace to it. I think the storyline, now this is a remake, so we've seen films like that before, but I believe this storyline was crafted to the lifestyle, the real lifestyle of Lady Gaga, because it really kind of goes into how, when she becomes this big pop star, how she starts to change. Not per se changing like becoming an a-hole, but just really starting to do crappy music as opposed to what she was doing in the beginning. She was doing music that sells, and we all know that doesn't mean just because it sells that it's good music. So I think that was important to touch on that but like I said, it's not a story that we haven't seen or heard before, but I believe some of it was tweaked to really fit Gaga's life. Just think this is a great opportunity for her. I know she's gonna be nominated for some Oscars. They haven't come out yet, but she's already been nominated for a lot of Golden Globes. I think they might lead. I think A Star is Born might lead the Golden Globes in nominations. So, including Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Original Song, and I think Screenplay as well. So they're in for a good awards season run. So we'll see how that turns out. But that's my number 3 best film. Number 2, and this is gonna be tough. I've been fighting with it. I was gonna put number 1, but it's gonna be my number 2. Black Panther. Black Panther came out. I mean, it's very well can be number 1. It's arguably number 1 on the list. But Black Panther came out, and I mean, the fans and everyone really showed up for this film. And it was just beautiful. I mean, on both levels. As a black man, it was great because to see a lot of people come out and support, and just the fun that people were having with it, dressing up, doing the whole with the dashikis and everything like that. I thought it was cool. As a comic fan, it was hella cool because everyone was, the comic fans were going over the top with it. They were going in dressed in full Black Panther gear, and it was awesome. Thought the film was just great. Ryan Coogler just outdid himself. These films are keeping Hollywood alive. Let's keep it honest. Let's keep it real here. These films are keeping Hollywood running with these blockbuster films. The superhero genre has been keeping Hollywood afloat. Let's be honest. Hollywood's afraid to make original films like they used to with original concepts. They're afraid to do it now. So what do? They fall back on, because they just want to make money. So they fall back on, okay, let's put out let's find a superhero film. All the way around. It had good acting, good storyline, great action, good fight sequences. It was a home run all the way around, and it probably should be 1B for me. It's like 1A and 1B, but since it's a list, it has to be number 2 on my list, because I cannot, as much as I want to, put it ahead of number 1, Avengers Infinity War. Only because this is part of what led up to this film. Black Panther is part of what led up to this film.
When you said we were going to open Wakanda to the rest of the world, this is not what I imagined.
And what did you imagine?
The Olympics, maybe even a Starbucks.
The Russo brothers, as if they couldn't outdo themselves. I still believe my favorite film by them, this is probably my favorite film now by them. It was The Winter Soldier, and I love that film. But Infinity War, I've watched this film maybe 20 times now, and I can't get enough of it. To be able to blend all of these characters in one film, and they equally get their shine. They were able to show some real powerful display of power with Scarlet Witch. Great display of power with Groot. Young teenage Groot. And Thor. Oh my God. Doctor Strange. So much stuff going on here. And I just thought it was awesome. And even Iron Man. Iron Man got busy in this film. He got busy. So I can't pass up all that for Black Panther, only because I loved Black Panther and it was awesome. It was great. It was like it broke records and it set bars and raised bars and everything else. But Infinity War is what we all waited for, and it held up to the hype. It just held up, man. We all was waiting for that film, and look at it. Now we're fiending for the next film, Endgame. And I have a little theory about that I'll talk in another video. I'm not sure if that's actually the title. The Russos, they have been really messing with us. And I would not be surprised if we see the first part of the film and then it cuts to the title and the title is different. Don't be surprised, people. The Russos, they're not playing. They're not trying to let nothing out about this film. And we have all these theories and this, that, and the other. I will say this, though. They have given little hints that it possibly might get a cameo from Namor. Some people that kind of went over their head, because some people don't even really know who Namor is. Namor the Submariner. I think with the success of Aquaman, but I think what the Russos did was shoot something with Namor. I think they have a couple of cameos and surprises in this film that may or may not make the cut. The film is going to be like close to 3 hours long, so it may make the cut. But I think with the success of Aquaman in DC, because everyone liked that with the water, I think they will choose to keep in whatever they shot with Namor. The reason why I believe that is because I was out shopping for Christmas and I saw a Namor toy that's being marketed by Marvel. Why will you market a toy to a character that no one really knows? The average moviegoer doesn't know. If you ain't old school or a comic book head, because the old school heads like my age, like say 40 and up, or maybe 35, I don't know about 35, 40 and up, they'll probably remember there was a Namor cartoon back in the day that used to come on and stuff like that. So, some of them might remember, but most of the people of today, they don't know who Namor is. So don't be surprised if they throw that in and some more cameos. But I'm going to say, do not be surprised if the new Avengers film is not called Endgame, but something else. But they just gave us that to shut us up and leave them alone. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the IE Network for giving me the platform to put this up. Real Talk will be back up and running next year. Top of the year, Monday the 7th, the year 2019. You guys have a safe and happy new year. Peace.